Of the three, we know two athletes who have made it through to the women's 100 final. And there is the line of Gabrielle, Sebeli, Anang. Thompson Hera of Jamaica goes in lane 4, coming back from injury problems which kept her a little compromised, we say, at Eugene, where she took a bronze in the 100 meters and a silver in the 4x100 for Jamaica. Misha Liai of Trinidad and Tobago in this one as well. Zoe Hobbs as well for New Zealand. Abrams of Guyana, and England's Asha Philip. But let's take a look at these athletes. There is Joy Gabrielle of Nigeria, third in her heat in 11:43. That was a season's best. She's an 11:3 athlete at her best. Remember, it is only the first two who go through by right. There is Seone Sebeli of Botswana, third in her heat as well in 11:52. Last night, the 28-year-old, a long way off her personal best. Na Anang of Australia. Well, she's a long jump specialist normally. She's a 681 long jumper, second in her heat yesterday in 11:37. She's in 3. And then Thompson Hera, Elaine Thompson Hera of Jamaica, double Olympic champion last year at 100 and 200, storming to gold in Tokyo. Won a heat in 10.99 yesterday. She's still in very fine form indeed. Misha Liai, well, she's the defending champion. She goes in lane 5, the athlete from Trinidad and Tobago. Semi-finalist in Tokyo last year over 100 meters, won a heat in 11.14. There's Zoe Hobbs, she goes in lane 6, the semi-finalist in the World Championships just a couple of weeks back in Eugene, the Kiwi. 11.09 in her heat. Jasmine Abrams of Guyana went out in her heats of the Olympics last year in Tokyo. She's got one stage better here. She is an 11.07 athlete, and that was this year, but she was much slower in her heat yesterday. And Asha Philip of England, listen to that, so welcome. European indoor champion back in 2017 over 60 meters. She was 4th, Asha Philip, in 2018 at the Commonwealth Games. Great athlete on her day. Here, she was 3rd in her heat in 11.27, a season's best. So, improving, Asha Philip, her lifetime best, 11.10. Well, Elaine Thompson Hera, back and shoulder problems have kept her at bay. Coached by Stephen Francis, who coached the great Asafa Powell just a few years back. She's the second fastest athlete in history, if you want some idea of her pedigree. As if being double Olympic champion isn't enough. She is a quite fabulous athlete. Will we see her here take the gloves off a little more than yesterday when she ran 10.99 to win her heat? Thompson Hera, standing favourite in 4 there. In the yellow of Jamaica, in the centre. Going well at the moment. She's going well in 1, Zoe Gabrielle, but Thompson Hera moving away here. Great run from Zoe Hobbs of New Zealand to snatch second place there. And Misha Liai, about 1.5 meters behind the Kiwi. That was a very, very out of sorts run from the Trinidad and Tobago athlete. 11.05 there for Thompson Hera. Well, it still leaves a few questions unanswered. What was the wind doing there? Just waiting to see. 0 wind and 11.05. I think she might be a little bit disappointed with that. The temperature has dropped a fair bit over the last couple of hours. It's not really a warm evening any longer. 7:45 here in Birmingham, but what a run from Zoe Hobbs. 11.05 for Thompson Hera, 11.15 for the Kiwi, who has booked her place in the final.
Brilliant run by Zoe Hobbs for second. She's 3rd from the left-hand side as we look at it here. Michelle Liai was always going to come under pressure with Hera to her left. And I think that was an excellent, excellent run by the New Zealander, who stormed to a new national record in the heats in Eugene en route to the semi-finals. Thompson Hera, I think, kept her powder dry there. She did what she needed to do just off the podium in the 200 on the Gold Coast. I think it's a brilliant affirmation of what the Commonwealth Games means to her, that a 4-time individual reigning Olympic champion has chosen to come here because she's desperate to add the Commonwealth crown to all those Olympic titles. She's into the final and looked very impressive. Yes, it wasn't as fast and perhaps not quite as effortless looking as the heat team, but then the pressure's on. They've got to deliver in the semis. She did, and she's got the chance to run again in the big showdown.
I'm just thinking, Rob, that we would normally expect, I know she eases off a long way out there, but we'd normally expect Thompson Hera, if everything's good and in still air, to be going down there well below 11 seconds. And, you know, she marginally beats Zoe Hobbs there by about half, 3/4 of a metre. Nothing wrong, no indications of injury or anything, but she didn't look all smiles and delighted with herself as she was walking away after the race. And I still think there's a question mark there. I don't know what you think, Kath Mary.
I think she looked pretty easy, to be honest. But she's one of those athletes, Tim, isn't she, that she's sometimes very hard to read. I was just watching her balance. You mentioned the problems that she's had. She's had Achilles problems, a bit of shoulder issues as well. So, yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting. 11:05, we'll see what she's got in a couple of hours' time.
It is 11:05 for Lane Thompson-Herah. Zoe Hobbs going through. That's a real bonus for the Kiwi squad. Second place for her. She's into the final. Michelle Liaye with 11:29 also goes through. At least with one semi to come, she does. She's in the bubble positions, I should say.